Shocking story. The night was quiet in a small town on the outskirts of Chicago. Street lights flickered, casting long shadows over empty sidewalks, and the sound of a distant train echoed through the air. For most, it was just another ordinary night. For Maria Delgado, it was the night that would change everything. Maria was a 42-year-old immigrant from Mexico. She worked double shifts at a diner, wiping counters and pouring coffee for strangers who barely noticed her. Her hands were rough from scrubbing, her back often ached, but her eyes, dark and determined, carried a fire that hadn't yet died. She had one reason to keep going: her son, Javier, a bright 17-year-old who dreamed of becoming the first in their family to go to college. But dreams in America didn't come cheap. Bills piled up. Rent was late. Maria sometimes ate leftovers from the diner just so her son could have a full meal. Still, she kept her struggles hidden, smiling whenever Javier talked about scholarships and universities. That night, as she walked home from work, she noticed flashing lights down her street. A cluster of police cars surrounded her apartment building. Her heart sank. She dropped her purse and ran. "Please. Dios mío, no," she whispered, breathless. The crowd parted, and Maria froze. In the glow of red and blue lights, she saw her son handcuffed, his face bruised, his eyes wide with shock. Officers pushed him into the back of a patrol car. "Mom. I didn't do anything," Javier cried, his voice cracking. Maria lunged forward, but an officer blocked her. "Ma'am, step back. He's under arrest." "For what?" she screamed, her voice breaking. "He's just a kid." The officer glanced at her with cold indifference. "Armed robbery. Convenience store." Witnesses put him at the scene. Maria's world collapsed in an instant. She begged, pleaded, but her words vanished into the night air as the patrol car drove away with her only child inside. The trial was swift. Javier's public defender barely looked at him, treating the case like a burden. Evidence was thin: a blurry security camera photo, a witness who thought it was him. But Javier was brown, poor, and from the wrong side of town. It was enough. Maria sat in the courtroom, gripping a rosary so tightly it left marks in her skin. She watched as the jury delivered the verdict: guilty. The sentence: 15 years in prison. Maria couldn't breathe. Her son's face, once full of hope, was now pale and hollow. He reached for her as deputies dragged him away. "Mom, don't let them take my life," he whispered. Her scream echoed through the courtroom, but no one cared. Years passed. Maria visited Javier every chance she got, traveling long bus rides to sit across from him behind glass. She worked harder, saved every penny, and hired a new lawyer. But appeals were denied again and again. The system had already decided his fate. One winter night, Maria returned home exhausted. A letter was waiting in her mailbox. Her hands trembled as she opened it. It was from the state attorney's office. Inside was a single page. "New evidence has come to light. Another man has confessed to the robbery for which Javier Delgado was convicted. Your son will be released immediately." Maria dropped to her knees, the letter falling from her hands. Tears streamed down her face, not of sorrow, but of relief so sharp it felt like pain. The next morning, she stood outside the prison gates. When Javier walked out, older now, scarred but alive, she rushed into his arms. They clung to each other, weeping. But the victory was bittersweet. 10 years had been stolen from him. His youth, his dreams, his innocence gone. "Mom," Javier whispered, his voice raw, "they took everything from me." Maria held his face in her hands, her eyes burning with both love and fury. "No, my Joe," she said. "They didn't take everything. You're still here. And as long as we breathe, we fight." Months later, Javier stood before a crowd in Chicago, speaking at a rally against wrongful convictions. His voice carried the weight of his stolen years, but also the strength of survival. "They thought they could silence me," he said, looking at his mother in the front row. "But they forgot one thing: truth cannot stay buried forever. And no system, no prison, no injustice can break the love of a mother who never gave up." The crowd erupted in applause, but Maria only saw her son standing tall, alive, and free. For her, that was the real victory. And yet, beneath the cheers, there lingered a haunting truth: in America, for countless others like Javier, justice often comes too late if it comes at all.